Monday morning. It is Pep. What's up, Pep?
Guys, I think last week I came on the air with you and said, "Hey, there's no doubt because history tells us the Green Bay Packers will be in the Super Bowl because the home team has never played in the Super Bowl." And of course, it took 43-year-old old man Tom Brady to break history, break all the rules as Tampa beat Green Bay 31-26 to punch their ticket to Super Bowl 55 in Tampa Bay.
I told you guys that I would be stunned if Green Bay lost, and I am stunned that Tampa Bay went in there and completely controlled that game from beginning to end, and that they didn't go for it on fourth down.
I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing is that not only did Tampa Bay win the game, they outright Green Bay seemed like they were struggling to stay in that game the whole time, which is kind of shocking and not what any of us were really thinking was going to happen.
And Tom Brady, Pep, is going to his 10th Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl number 10, which some franchises have never been there. You know what I mean? Like, you think about all of the great players who, we were just talking about Phillip Rivers the other day. He never made it to even one Super Bowl. Tom Brady has gone to 10 Super Bowls, which is unbelievable. Obviously, his first with Tampa Bay. And at 43 years old, he just kind of keeps rewriting, the record book in terms of, how old should you be when you're still playing? Is he still good enough? Can he do it without Belichick? All those different things. He answered the question all season long, and here they are, Super Bowl 55, man.
I'm trying to remember the exact stat, but I can't. But it's like Tom Brady has more playoff wins than almost every other NFL franchise, and he's only like 6 away from being above the New England Patriots at this point. He's not very far from having more playoff wins than his old team.
There is so many crazy stats in this. Like when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes was 6. You know what I mean? Right. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, but he pulled it off. I can't believe it, but he did it.
Once again, we have to see a Super Bowl that features Tom Brady.
And what's weird, guys, okay, so Tampa Bay is going to the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, so they're going to have kind of like a home game, I guess you'd say. But the Buccaneers had to win 3 straight road games in the playoffs to get back home for the Super Bowl. So it's just kind of ironic how it kind of flips for this championship game, that they had to go on the road, what was it, at Washington, at New Orleans, then at Green Bay, and then they're back home for the Super Bowl.
Had to beat Drew Brees in his house, had to beat these guys in their house, had to beat Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau. He finally gets his NFC Championship game, and they look like that.
It's funny. I mean, thinking about it right now, this just came to me. They kind of took the NBA method and brought it into the NFL, where it's like, look, don't kill yourself during the regular season. Once you get the playoffs, turn it on and surround yourself with talent.
Hey, hats off to Tom Brady, I say.
Yeah, Tampa Bay had a ton of talent, and they, the experts kept saying, hey, listen, don't judge them by early on in the season because they're going to take some time. Like, remember, this offseason for the NFL was different, like nothing we've ever seen before because of COVID-19. So there was no real offseason. Remember, there was no preseason games. Like they said, hey, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, which also had some new pieces on offense, including Gronkowski. They added Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette. They're like, it's going to take some time. And here we are. It's January. It's Tom Brady. And we're back to where we started with Tom Brady playing in a Super Bowl.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Hey, quick shout out, though, because even though Tom Brady was pretty good yesterday against Green Bay, our guy Kenny Clark did have a sack on Tom Brady. So if you're Kenny Clark, the pride of Carter High School in Rialto, you got to think you're going to remember that one for a long, long time. Going up against Tom Brady, NFC Championship game, and you were able to bring him down to the turf on the frozen tundra. I'm sure that was a pretty special moment for him, even though it's probably bittersweet right now. He's still thinking about, man, we should be playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one for him, especially and the Green Bay Packers, because there's a lot of uncertainty on whether Mr. Aaron Rodgers is coming back to that team or not.
No.
Well, guys, he should be the MVP this year in the NFL, right? So he's still like, you could say maybe the best quarterback here, Patrick Mahomes, right now in the NFL. So he still has gas left in the tank. It's just, do the Packers want to keep him around? Does he want to stay around? You know what I mean? Like there's all these different factors in there because they did draft Jordan Love. But what's weird is we didn't even get a whiff of Jordan Love this year. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't even like the backup. He wasn't even around. Like they were grooming him. He was just, I don't know, somewhere off in the distance.
And you think of a lot of the young offensive rookie weapons that have been big this year that would have helped them maybe get to that Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now we've got Tom Brady going up against Patrick Mahomes. And newsflash, Patrick Mahomes is just fine. We were concerned he was in concussion protocol. He had a toe injury. Listen, none of that was even a factor as he looked pretty darn good in that big win against Buffalo, 38-24 in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, he looked great, and that game was getting a little chippy.
Yeah, towards the end of that one, it started to get a little bit chippy. I mean, I think up to the point now, I've always kind of said, let's pump the brakes on these young quarterbacks and crowning them a little too early. And it's getting to the point now where Mahomes, I think he just is as good as advertised.
Boy, so the Chiefs against the Bucks in Tampa. Wow.
Yeah, and it's a rematch, guys. We've had several rematches from regular season games to playoff games, and the Bucks and Chiefs actually met during the regular season not too long ago, Week 12, in Kansas City, snuck out of Tampa Bay with a 27-24 win. So it was actually a really good game, a very close game, Brady versus Mahomes. I think it's probably going to be a very similar score when they meet again in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I was looking so forward to a Green Bay Bills Super Bowl in my head that I was really focused on those two teams. So I'm kind of glad that we have the 2 weeks now to really let the storylines come out. I mean, Andy Reid is back in the Super Bowl again, and we'll get all the different storylines of all the players and everything like that. So Look forward to that over the next week and a half.
And I'm going to go way out on a limb and say we're going to hear a little bit more about 43-year-old Tom Brady and 10 Super Bowls. I'm just going to guess what one of those stories might be.
The way it is.
Hey, guys, real quick, other NFL notes here because former Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn, he got scooped up by the Detroit Lions as their offensive coordinator, so he's going to be in Detroit now. But I bring them up because there's all these available quarterbacks or quarterbacks that want to be traded or quarterbacks that are parting ways, including Matt Stafford in Detroit, Deshaun Watson with the Texans. I mean, we could have a ton of quarterbacks on the move this offseason. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, maybe even Aaron Rodgers.
And that's because he said, his future is uncertain. He didn't agree with that field goal move last night, it appears, either. So he's not exactly the happiest where he sits right now.
We'll see.
But, is Aaron Rodgers ever happy? Does he ever smile? I don't know if he's ever happy, though.
And I was talking to Patrick about it first thing this morning. He kind of has the LeBron James in Cleveland feel to him right now, where he is such a good player on a team that he has been loyal to, but they have not surrounded him with any talent. And he's kind of, if he wants to be around talent, he's going to kind of force his hand. He's going to have to leave.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, look at Tom Brady those final couple of years in New England. They didn't really surround him with talent either, right? I mean, they were still winning. They were still doing pretty good, but they didn't have a lot of star talent around him.
And he leaves and gets talent. And we're to the Super Bowl.
Now Aaron's got to watch him go to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Wow.
All right, guys, and finally, in the world of sports, the only thing probably more popular than that Bernie Sanders meme with him, all bundled up and his legs and arms crossed is probably Conor McGregor getting knocked out by Dustin Poirier. And, of course, that, Conor McGregor laying on the canvas, laying on the floor is all over social media. That's how I gauge the importance of sports is everyone's talking about on social media. And, of course, they were, man. McGregor getting knocked out in the second round.
Is that what happens when you just kind of are out of the game just for a little bit?
I mean, there's a lot of talk on, whether or not he's trying to just get out of his contract so he can get back to making big contracts without the UFC being involved with it.
Right.
So he's just got 3 or 4 fights left on that contract since he wasn't able to get any of them done last year. They say he might be trying to burn through his fights. A lot of people say he is back. I don't know. It did not look good for him.
It didn't look good. He also has a real nice guy routine, which is a little bit different. It just feels like he lost his edge a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of say that came after the Khabib loss. It humbled him a lot. He's not going too crazy over the top anymore.
Khabib, by the way, said on Twitter, he's like, this is what happens when you drop your real sparring partners and you just toy fight with kids, you get your ass knocked out.
Like I was saying, there's a lot of talk going around, especially after this fight, that McGregor's heart just isn't quite where it used to be.
No, you guys are exactly right. I want Conor McGregor to be like that jerk, right? That always says the wrong thing at the wrong time, and you know what I mean? He's just kind of a punk, and he's a little shady and a little edgy. He's better. When Tiger Woods was going through his stuff, he was the best golfer. He cleaned up his act, and he wasn't as good anymore. Conor McGregor kind of needs to return to that, I think, for him to be that guy with all that swag and going into a fight knowing he's going to win that fight.
So the game passes you by quick.
And now the 155 weight there for UFC, the title is vacated because it was Khabib's title. He's retired for now out of fighting. So it's either going to be like Gaethje or Poirier are probably going to fight for that title. And then McGregor might get a shot at them. There's a couple other guys in that division too. It's going to be a fun division to watch.
It is. There's a lot of big names there in that division.
Right.
Have time out of your stuff.
Hey, Inland Sports, everybody, you can check it out. We're talking about Kenny Clark, Alexander Madison, another local guy in the NFL. That's Inland Sports all over social media and the Inland Sports YouTube channel.
Thanks, Pep.